Yeah. Oh, so I need my, it's already 11:02, huh?
Yeah, so, it's really whatever you're ready.
Okay. All right. Let me just make sure. I think I have everything.
Okay, one sec.
How's our lighting? Do I need to turn off this light? Hey chili heads, welcome back to Red or Green, and welcome to our first live stream. This is actually a lot more difficult than you think. Thankfully, my brilliant daughter has figured it out. So today I'm excited to make some carne asada with you. And asada just means grilled meat. And so you can use a few different kinds of cuts of meat. Today we're going to use a skirt steak, but you could also use flank. I've used a flat iron steak, which is one of my favorites. And I've even used top sirloin. So it just depends on what you want to get in the market and what's on sale, really, right? So we're going to start off. Do I start completely from the beginning? Okay.
Give me one sec.
Okay. Hey chili heads, welcome back to Red or Green. Today, and thank you so much for joining in on this live stream. It is it's a little more complicated than you think to do a live stream, so we're pretty excited. But we're gonna make some carne asada, and asada just means grilled meat. And so you can, or you can do pollo asado, which is again just grilled chicken. But today we're gonna do a skirt steak, and you can. It's important to mention that you can do or use any cut of meat you choose from certain. So, for example, you can use a skirt steak. I've done a flank steak, a top sirloin, even a ribeye, or even a filet mignon. But today we're going to use a skirt steak because it cooks really quickly and it absorbs the marinade really quickly. So I'm excited to cook with you, so thanks for joining us. I've done a lot of prep here, but I'm going to go through this step by step with you so that, and don't bother writing down the ingredients because we're going to definitely leave the recipe for you after this. What I have over here, just so you know, is I'm grilling some corn because we're going to make a couple of different sides. These are some of my favorites to go with carne asada. We're gonna make a corn and black bean salad, and then over here we're also gonna grill some zucchini because it just fits perfect with this. So we're gonna start by making the marinade, getting the meat into the marinade. So it needs about 20 minutes, not more than that, because we're using a lot of lime in here. So if we leave it any longer than 20-30 minutes, it's actually going to start cooking the meat, and we don't want that. So let's get to it. All right, so what have I got here? We're going to start with, again, the marinade. So I've got about a third cup of olive oil. I'm going to put that right in here to my marinade pan, and then we're going to put in a quarter cup of soy sauce. I know that sounds kind of like a strange ingredient to put in New Mexican or Mexican cooking, but it really gives it a lot of that umami flavor. Okay, so I've got about a quarter cup here. Put that in there, and then we're going to put in 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. You don't have to use balsamic vinegar if you don't. If you have just regular vinegar, that works just as well. Red wine. I wouldn't use just regular white vinegar. I would do something with a little bit more flavor, so red wine or white wine vinegar would also work in here. And I'm going to put 2 tablespoons. And I probably should have taken the top off of this so it would come out a little easier, but it's okay. All right, so I'd like to know how many of you are actually cooking along with us. And let's hope I don't burn my corn over there. I am notorious for burning things in the broiler, but not on the stove, so help remind me. Okay, so now I'm gonna put in a teaspoon of onion powder, okay, 1.5 teaspoons of New Mexico red chili powder. Now, it's important to mention that if you don't have New Mexico red chili powder, you could use chipotle powder, you can use paprika, smoked paprika, but this is my New Mexican edition, so I'm going to put that right in here. And when I originally started this recipe, I only used a teaspoon, and it wasn't really, I couldn't taste the red chili enough, so I added a little bit more, and it's just right. So I'm just gonna, maybe. All right, so we're back. Just to recap, we have here about 1/3 cup of olive oil. We have 1/4 cup soy sauce. We're making the marinade for this carne asada that we're going to grill up and put into some corn tortillas and make some tacos out of it. But the main thing to remember about carne asada is it's all about the marinade. So we've got, again, olive oil, soy sauce. We put some balsamic vinegar, some onion powder, some Mexican oregano, and now we're going to add the juice of 2 limes. And because this marinade has so much citrus, we're only going to marinate it for about 20 or 30 minutes because otherwise it's going to start cooking the meat, and we don't want that. We just want to give it some flavor. And so we've got 2 limes here. We really wanted to do this last week, but we had some major weather here in Albuquerque. My power was out most of the night, and that was a bummer. But we're really excited. Okay, so I'm going to put some lime, and I'm also going to add the juice of 1 orange. And I'm hoping this is juicy enough. I do have another orange just in case, but yeah, it seems like it's juicy enough. And so here we are, orange juice, and then we're going to add 4 cloves of garlic. I know that seems like a lot, but it's a really important part of the marinade. So I have, and you can grate the garlic in, or you can crush it in. Today I'm just going to crush it in because it's so much simpler. I'm just going to, let's see, crush it in there. Add another. These cloves are really big. So, I mean, you can use 3 or 4. If they're really big, maybe just use 3 large. But I've got 4 large here. I'm not sure I'm going to use them all, but oh well. I like garlic, so it's not super great on the breath, but it's good for you. It's actually a sort of a, like, it works like an antibacterial and an like if you're sick or anything, eat extra garlic and it makes you feel better. So how many of you actually grilled for the last week's holiday? Even though we weren't able to do our live stream, I still cooked up the carne asada and ate it. It was delicious. And ate corn salad for the rest of the week because I had so much. All right, so we've got everything we need in here except for our cilantro. So that's another really important piece here. We're going to put in 1/4 cup of cilantro, and I'm just going to stir all this up here. And God, it smells wonderful. Even the marinade smells wonderful. And so you can see how it's going to really add a bunch of flavor to the meat. So now we move on. We're going to move on to our meat. We have, I'm going to move these over here. We have a skirt steak, and so give me 1 sec. I'm just going to take this corn off of the grill so that it doesn't get overdone, and we can let it cool off so we can make our corn salad in just a little bit. So it'll cool off, have some time to cool off. Okay, so I'm going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to use a different cutting board because I'm going to have some raw meat on here. So I'm just going to move it out of the way for a minute and pull this in along with our skirt steak. Okay, so I have the skirt steak here, and what I'm going to do, hopefully you can see it, I'm just going to show it to you. It's just a smaller cut, but because I've been cooking this so much, I've had a lot of meat, so we're going to have a smaller cut today. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take and kind of pull off some of this top fat on here. And it comes off really easy. Just get a nice sharp paring knife, or even your butcher knife will do. Either one of those will be fine. But I'm just going to take off some of the fat up here, because I don't really want that to burn off when I grill it. So that's all I'm doing here. So and again, you can use different cuts of meat. This happens to be a little bit fattier, but you could even use a filet mignon, or just a tenderloin steak. You could use a ribeye. That would be really good. I love ribeyes. The marbling in ribeyes would make this really, really yummy. But you'll see that the corn salad is a great addition to this, that along with zucchini, because zucchini happens to be one of my favorite vegetables. So I often have it, and I cook it a lot. Grilled, spiraled, I do it a lot. But I'd like to hear from some of you if out there. Tell me what you've grilled. Do you like carne asada? Is it something that you've made often? I'm really anxious to hear from you. All right, so I've got most of it off. I'm going to take this end here, this end part, but for the most part, I have taken most of the fat off. Oops. And actually, the other side looks a little fatty, so I'm going to clean some of this off. And most of this will actually burn off when you grill it. It's just my preference. You don't have to do all of this cleaning, but it's just, I like my meat a little bit leaner. All right, so, all right, I'm just going to pick up my towel here. Okay, so now we're going to get into the marinade. We need to marinate this for at least 20 minutes, okay? And really not more than 30 minutes. So that is looking great. And I'm just moving it around in the marinade so that both sides get fully, and we're going to leave that for a minute. I'm going to move this off to the side and wash my hands really quick. Okay. All right, so now let's get to our blackened corn salad. And I'm going to pull these this back over here, and we're going to take the kernels off of the corn. And I like doing this with grilled corn because, yeah, you can cook your corn and do it with just regular corn, but when you grill it, it just gives it so much more flavor. So I would highly suggest grilling your corn for this salad. And so I'm gonna bring a bowl over here and bring over my corn, and hopefully it's cooled off enough. But just put that there.
So someone on Instagram wants to know what, if any, your background is in cooking.
That's a good question. So as far as cooking professionally, I've not done that except for actually working in a kitchen and cooking in a kitchen setting. And so growing up, I put myself through school waiting tables. And so I got the aspect of food in that sense and sort of the customer service part of it. But cooking, my only professional experience is actually working in a kitchen, cooking at a restaurant. And so that's the extent of my professional training. However, I have been cooking, watching my mom, my grandma. I've been cooking New Mexican food for many years. And a lot of it was trial and error, right? So I started off, so my first pot of beans that I made, I didn't clean them, I didn't rinse them, and they turned out terrible. But so with a lot of, watching my mom, my grandma, my dad, I've learned a lot over the years. And so as far as New Mexican cooking, I've done a lot of trial and error and experimenting, and so that's it. I hope that answers your question. All right, so we are going to take our corn here, and actually I'm going to wipe this off because I've got a lot of garlic on here, and put this here. So I'm just going to take, and I'm using a bowl because this actually catches the corn a lot better, and that way it doesn't fly all over the place. So I'm just going to take off the kernels here, and it smells so good. It's still hot, but hopefully I don't burn myself.
While you're doing that, I just want to shout out some people from the chat.
Yay.
Mina says, great content, congratulations.
Who's that?
Someone named Mina.
Thank you, Mina. We appreciate you watching.
And someone under the name YROBTSVT says, this dish is new to me, and that they're looking forward to the stream.
Yay.
Someone named Heath Barkley says, congratulations, you've encouraged me to start cooking my mom's New Mexican recipes.
Yay. I love hearing that.
Yeah, I've used many of your recipes too. Thank you so much.
Love it, love it.
Patricia Christine says, I still don't clean or rinse my beans. Is that wrong?
Yes. You need to start cleaning your beans, sis.
And then Turbo Villain, aka Joseph, says, what about your brother in Santa Fe? He's a pretty good cook with New Mexico cuisine.
He's a great cook. Actually, he gave me some delicious trout that I'm gonna cook up later on this evening. Awesome. It's wonderful to hear from all of you. Thank you so much for supporting us. Okay, so moving right along. I think we've figured out everything here. I've got the corn off of my, the kernels off of my corn. And so, you know what? I'm gonna grab a spoon here. And just so you know, I have our grill pan still slowly heating here. I'm gonna move it over here so you can see how the meat looks when it's cooking. But it's a cast iron grill pan, and I'm going to move it over in just a little bit so that you're able to see. But I want it to be hot, and so I'm keeping it on the stove warming. And so normally you would cook this on your grill outside, but if you don't have one, you can certainly use your grill pan inside, which is what I'm doing today. And I thought it would be a little bit easier. Actually, I don't have a grill right now. I'm on the hunt for a new grill. But anyway, so here we are. We have our grilled corn, and we are going to add a couple more ingredients. So I'm going to add, I have a quarter cup of red pepper, chopped red pepper. And let's see, we have a quarter cup of red onion. And then we have 1 can of rinsed black beans. I'm going to add all of that in there. And we need some lime, so I'm just going to squeeze some lime in here. And I just realized I forgot to prep a couple of ingredients for this, so anyway, I'll still pull them out. I have them, I just haven't prepped them. All right, so there's that. What else? I'm missing some olive oil. We're gonna put about a quarter cup of olive oil. And let's see, we have here my measuring cup. I'm going to do about 1/4 cup of olive oil. Not too much, just enough to coat the salad. So I'm going to put that in, and I absolutely love this chili lime spice. It's from Trader Joe's. It is, I use it in everything, my salads, lots of marinades, but this is delicious. And because I'm adding this, I'm not going to add some salt and pepper, but definitely add that if you feel like you need more salt or whatever. But because I'm adding this, and because we have so much lime in there, I'm not going to add additional salt. And so I'm putting about a teaspoon of this. Okay. And let's see.
All right. Do you want to answer another question?
Sure. Yeah.
Someone on Instagram wants to know if you can describe the difference between New Mexican and Mexican food for those who might not know.
Sure. So, New Mexican food is really connected to Native American food. So we have a lot of the same traditions, and maybe not traditions, but the same concepts around making our food. Mexican food is more about seafood, fresh salsas, fresh sauces. So, for example, if they make an enchilada sauce, it's going to be made with fresh tomatoes. When we make an enchilada sauce, we use green or red, and so just very, very different ways of doing things. A lot of seafood involved with Mexican cooking. There's ceviche. There's just fresh sauces mostly. And New Mexican cooking is more, there's a little bit more about the focus on red and green chili. I hope that helps. That's a really good question. Okay, so I'm gonna stir up my black bean and corn salad here. I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of cilantro. This is a really important ingredient. And I usually add jalapeno or serrano to this, but I'm not going to add it today because I want my daughter to eat it and I don't want it to be too hot for her for the week.
Hey.
I'm sorry. But I will probably have a little bit on the side to add into that. But yeah, so this is, as you can see, this is looking beautiful. Lots of color, really yummy flavors going on here. I'm going to add 1 more tablespoon. And I took this with me to a party recently. And can you see? Lots of color. And they really liked it. And so I promised a friend that I would give her the recipe, and I haven't done that yet, so I will. And it's super easy. I mean, there's black bean and corn salads all over the place, but this is super easy and a great addition to the asada. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and, actually maybe I'm going to taste this for seasoning, see if I need some more of that. It's right on. I could definitely use some jalapeno or serrano, but it's good. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside for now. And the other thing I added that I'm not going to add until the end or keep out and just put on the side is some avocado. And the thing about adding in the avocado is that it sort of it makes the salad get kind of creamy and takes on a whole different texture. So we're just going to cut up an avocado at the end and have it kind of on the side as a garnish. Okay, so we have our marinade. We've got about 10 minutes on the marinade. What we're gonna do now is we're going to cut up our zucchini and get that grilled and off to the side and ready to go when our meat is done. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut off the tops.
Hey, I muted you just for a sec. Keep going.
Sure.
But, how do you pronounce Ashley, our cousin's last name?
Calabota. And so I just cut these, the tops and the bottoms off, and I'm going to cut them about 1/4 of an inch lengthwise, just enough to fit on the grill nicely. And I'm getting about 4 slices from this, so just so you can see, about 1/4 of an inch. And let's see what else we've got going on here.
All right, so while you're slicing that, we have a couple new things going on in the chat.
Yay!
Patricia said, I think we use more pinto beans, and Mexican food usually includes black beans. They also use corn tortillas instead of flour and roasted peppers instead of green chili.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
And then Ashley Calavada said, looks delicious, and she asked if you could also add avocado, but then you kindly explained that absolutely you can.
And if you're going to eat it that day, you can totally do that. I would suggest not so ripe an avocado, so one that's still kind of firm. But yeah, you totally.
Awesome. And then we have someone named, I apologize if I don't pronounce this correctly, Nui Pena says greetings from Texas.
Yay! Hi! Thanks for joining us. We're happy to have you here. Okay, so let's see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to light up our grill over here so that we can, and I didn't check the grill beforehand, so hopefully it lights up. Oh yay, it lit up. And I'm going to bring the grill pan over here. I'm going to lightly put some olive oil on these, the zucchini, and sprinkle it with a little bit of our chili lime sauce seasoning, and then I'm going to grill it up. Okay, so coming over here, I'm just going to move it over here, and that is a nice heavy pan. Okay. So, I don't have my pastry brush, but I'm just going to put a little bit of olive oil on these, just a little bit. And, okay, just kind of on both sides. We want to grill it up, but we don't want it to stick too much. Zucchini is mostly water, and so again, this is one of my favorite vegetables. I put it in everything, probably too much. But what do you all like to grill with your asada? And do you think any of you are going to try this recipe? I'd like to know. Okay, so now we have our chili. I love this stuff. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit on here, and it gives it this really cool color. All right, so let's start grilling these. And then once these are done, we are actually going to be able to we'll grill the tortillas because we want them grilled up, and then we're going to grill up our meat.
Muting for just a sec, but keep going. You might have to speak up while the stuff is grilling, just a little bit.
Got it. Okay, so what have we got going on here? We have our meat marinating in this awesome marinade. Again, Carne asada is all about the marinade. That's the most important piece. Yes, we want to get a good cut, you know, and again, the different cuts you can use are, or the traditional cuts used are a skirt steak and a flank steak, but I've used everything from top sirloin to flat iron to even a tenderloin. It just depends on how much you want to spend, right? Because a flank and a skirt steak are, it's a lot of meat at a lower cost, and you can feed a lot of people with it. So yeah, those are the different kinds of meats that you can use. And can you all hear me okay? Yeah? Okay. All right, so I'm kind of cleaning up as we go here.
So we have another question from Instagram.
Yay.
They want to know what inspired you to start this New Mexican food channel.
That's a really good question. So I'll be honest with you, I cook for my family and events all the time, and I had a small catering business, which I forgot to mention earlier. And it's just, for me, it was a way to be creative in the kitchen and create new meals. And I wanted to go with something that I was familiar with, so that's why we went with the New Mexican dishes. But it really is just a way for me to express myself in a creative way. And yeah, here we are. So hopefully that answers your question. We have some zucchini grilling over here, and actually I'm gonna, oh yeah, it's looking really good. I just want to show you this, what it looks like. It's cooking up really nicely, and it's cooking quickly, and you don't need it to cook too long. It only takes a couple of minutes, and then a couple more minutes on the other side, and then we'll pull it off and we'll put our meat to cook. So meanwhile, I guess I can start prepping our avocados, because when this is all done, we're going to put it in a corn tortilla. You don't have to do that. You can just eat it sliced on a plate with your corn salad and some of your sides. But today I'm going to put it in a corn tortilla because I kind of like that. I think that's a great way to have carne asada. But you could also do a burrito. You could do, my son was telling me that he has carne asada fries. And so we'll try to do that in a future video, but that sounds interesting. I guess you put this carne asada atop some French fries, and it with some cheese, maybe some chili. I don't know. I've not seen it, but sounds interesting.
All right. So in the chat, Patricia said, "I will definitely try the black bean salad. I'm intimidated by the asada," and then this emoji.
Aww. Really? We'll have to do it together. It's actually super simple. It's super simple, and you'll see once we get it on the grill. We're gonna, because the meat is so thin, it's gonna cook for about 2 minutes on each side, and then it's done. We're gonna let it rest, and we're gonna slice it up, and I'll show you exactly how we do that here in just a little bit. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just slicing up some avocado, and I'm just spearing it with my knife, and then I'm going to pull it out with a spoon. It's a pretty easy way to cut up your avocados. Okay, so let's see.
Ashley Calavana says, "I agree. I would totally try the corn salad and zucchini. I bet it smells amazing. Salivating over here in Oklahoma."
Yes, yes, it's delicious. Thanks so much for tuning in. We really appreciate your support. I just flipped the meat over there, so I'm just kind of doing that. And I think we need to pull off this zucchini. So again, I'm just going to let you see what it looks like on the other side. It's nice and grilled. Ah, my mouth is watering for this. All right, so we're going to pull all of those off, and we're going to put them on our plate here. yeah, the zucchini is starting to let out some moisture. And so what I'm going to do before I put the the tortillas on there, is I'm going to spray it a little bit just because I don't really want them to burn on there. So I'm just going to spray a little bit. And then I'm going to throw on my tortillas, get some grill marks on there. It's a quick, easy way to cook those up. I'm going to take my spoon and just pull out, I used my knife and I cut slices into the avocado, and now I'm just going to take my spoon and pull those out.
What is your favorite summer dish to make?
Ooh, good question. Are we talking New Mexican food?
How about you do one New Mexican food and then one in general?
Okay, so probably one of my favorite things to make in the summer is so this seems kind of simple, but I like to make different salsas. So I'm always making a salsa. I always have salsa in the fridge. So that's something that I make on a regular basis. As far as a New Mexican dish, I'm kind of stumped. Let's see. I would have to say beans and chili. That's kind of my go-to. And I always have, leftover beans on hand. And I tend to use those for meal prep during the week. So I would say tostadas, tacos. Tacos are always a great summer dish because you can grill something up pretty quickly like asada. And so, yeah, I think probably tacos, tostadas, because I'm always using up my leftover beans, trying to use what I have as leftovers. So I'm just going to show you these. They're grilling up nicely. And any other questions?
Let's see. I have a question from Instagram. What do you see for the future of red or green?
Good question. So, when we first started out, we just wanted, again, I just wanted a place that I could be creative and share with you a lot of the dishes that I've learned over the years. But I think that, ideally in the future, we would be able to continue this and do a lot more fusion, maybe refine some of these recipes, maybe do some more cooking classes together where we cook along and you get to ask some questions about things. So I see us continuing in the future and just becoming a little more refined and cooking up some different dishes, imparting or creating some New Mexican and some fusion dishes. I think we've done a lot of New Mexican meals, but I also see us bringing on other New Mexican cooks, so showing you what they do. And there is a lot of Native American cooking that I'd like to bring in, maybe someone who could show us how to make Navajo tacos, things like that. So I see us with a lot of content in the future. If there's anything you would like to see, definitely let us know. What do you want to see from this channel? Think of it as your New Mexican channel. What do you want to know? What do you want to see? I did have a comment from a subscriber recently where he asked about doing a video where we talk a little bit about the different chili indexes. And so, from red or green, there's mild, medium, hot, extra hot, different ways of, dried chilies. We have powdered chili. So that's definitely going to be one of our videos in the future. But yeah, if there is something that you would like to see, let us know. and we will do our best to bring it to you. All right, so these two are grilled. I'm gonna grill up 2 more, and then we're gonna throw our meat on. How are we doing on time?
Excellent. We've been live for about 56 minutes.
Again, I am so excited. Thank you so much for joining us today. We've got some carne asada going here, and the meat is just about ready to grill up, and I'm really excited because I'm getting so hungry with all of the sides that we're doing. We made a corn and black bean salad. We put a little bit of spice in there with the chili lime spice seasoning from Trader Joe's, by the way. And then I cut up some avocado here, and I'm basically going to take some of this avocado and I'm going to put some into a corn tortilla. I'm going to add some of the asada in there, and we're going to get this going here very soon.
Someone named His Raven Queen in the chat says hello from someone far from home in Arkansas, crying face.
Oh, hello. Thanks so much for joining us. What are you cooking New Mexican over in Arkansas?
So, someone on Instagram was wondering which New Mexico restaurants would you recommend? Maybe like a top 3.
Ooh, okay. So
try not to get controversial here.
I know, and this is a really good question, but it's a tough one because I truly don't go out for New Mexican food that often, but when I do, because I mostly like the way I cook it, and I know that sounds terrible, but anyway, I like the chili because it's consistent from Garcia's. So they have their red chili is made from Caribe, which I love. I also like Cocina Azul, and okay, I'm going to name 4. Casa de Benavides, I love their chili is great, and I do like Sadie's. I find that their way of making chili is a little bit different than I grew up with, but it's a fantastic restaurant, and they have large portions, which I don't eat that much, so it's always too much for me. But anyway, so those are my top 4.
And then His Raven Queen follows up with haven't cooked anything yet, and that they like Los Cuates.
Oh yeah, you know what? I haven't been to Los Cuates in ages, so yeah, that's another great restaurant. Awesome. Okay, so we are going to pull off these tortillas. I think I'd like them to cook up just a little bit more, and then I'm going to go ahead and throw on our meat here. I just turn this off. But I am so excited to be cooking with you today. I don't get to do this too often, but I look forward to weekends when I can be creative and cook up some yummy meals. I often end up having way too much leftovers, which I'll send home with my daughter or whatever, or meal prep throughout the week. So I mean, I've definitely done that. Any of these New Mexican dishes, just remember that they can all be meal prep. You can prep a couple of tacos with your corn salad and put it into some containers for the week easily, very easily. And if you didn't want to have too much meat, you could just put the corn salad and zucchini into a taco, and it could be veggie, which if you don't want to have too much meat, that's a good alternative. Okay, so my tortillas are all cooked up. I am going to, I'm not sure I'm going to spray that again. I want it to be really hot, so I'm going to crank up the heat a little bit, And hopefully you can see that, but I'm going to show you what the meat looks like. And actually I'm going to pull these off to the side because I didn't cook up those last two, but we don't really need them. I mean, okay, so here we have our, again, this is our skirt steak, and it's full of the marinade, and I'm just going to bring it over here and set it right. Oh, it smells so good. You can smell the red chili powder in there. I know that sounds crazy, but you can. It's amazing. Okay, and so we're gonna let that cook for about 2 minutes. Then we're gonna flip it over for another 2 minutes. Then we're gonna bring it to our cutting board here, and we're gonna let it rest for about 10 minutes. So.
Okay. Patricia wants to know, can you repeat what type of meat you are using? I have a problem with my meat being tough even when I marinate.
Okay, so the traditional choices of meat for carne asada are a skirt steak, a flank steak. I have used top sirloin. You can use a large ribeye. You can use a tenderloin. It's really your choice, but the most common used are a skirt steak and a flank steak. And yeah, and so once you pull them off, the key to making sure that the meat is not tough or hard to chew is cutting it against the grain. And I'll show you that when I pull out when I pull the meat off the grill. You'll be able to see that the grain goes this way, and we're going to be cutting against it. So perpendicular, if that makes sense. Okay, and so kind of trying to keep my space a little bit clean here. It's not too easy, but all right, we're looking good. Just going to take a peek at this. Ooh, looks delicious. Just about another 30 seconds. Depending on how thin it is. If you want it medium well, medium. I'm only cooking it for about 2 minutes on each side, but if you want it medium, add 1 more minute. I'm going to show you what this looks like. See the grill marks? Yay! And I think we're under 2 minutes, but I like my meat medium rare, so I flipped it a little bit early, but again, about 2 minutes for a skirt or a flank steak because they're fairly thin. And then the most important part is to let it rest after. So again, we've been experimenting with some videos, and we've been trying to do, mix some fusion. So we've done some red chili Alfredo. We've done some green chili chicken lasagna recently. But have you all done some mixing in some green chili and some red chili? And what kind of fusion, or what have you mixed your green chili into? I mean, I put it in everything, but yeah. So this is smoking quite a bit. My daughter's trying to air it out a little, but that's flavor. Trust me. So when you're cooking this, you might want to make sure that you open up some doors. And again, I can totally smell the red chili. That is a key ingredient in here. For me it is. But I don't think it's a very traditional spice that's put into carne asada. So this is our little twist on it. And let's see. I'm going to look at this, and I think we might be ready. I'm going to turn it a little bit. Try and get some good grill marks on there. And we're almost there, almost home. Ooh, smells so good. And we've got lots of lime here. We're gonna, my daughter gave me some of her radishes grown from her garden, so we're gonna throw some of that in. These are just the garnishes we're gonna put into our taco. Again, we're gonna have some grilled zucchini. You can throw that in there, or you can eat it on the side. I'm probably gonna eat it on the side along with the corn salad. And so, okay, I think we are good. Look at that. Flavor, it's all flavor.
Wow.
And so, let's see, I'm gonna turn this off so it stops burning and smoking all over the place, but this is what it looks like. It's nice and thin. And so I'm gonna get some foil and we're gonna cover it for just about 10 minutes. And so, how are we doing? Do we have any more questions?
His Raven Queen says, LOL, sounds like me when I cook. I love my chili in everything.
Yeah. That's definitely something that I'm guilty of. All right, so maybe I should pull this off so we stop smoking. And I'm just gonna move it over here to a different area. And so, yeah, it's making us all cough over here. But yeah, I'm just gonna let this rest for about 10 minutes.
Awesome. So, what would you say is a utensil or a device that changed the game for your cooking life?
Oh, okay. Wow. I would say this. So about when I started cooking in a kitchen, it was I was sort of bartending, cooking. It was kind of a strange thing, but anyway, a friend of mine bought this for me because she knew how much I was enjoying cooking and wanted me to just kind of take it to the next level. And I've had this knife, I think, like 10 plus years, and I think I use it every day. It's something I cut vegetables with. I just for everything. And so this, having a chef's knife, and I don't have a huge selection of knives, but this is one that I use all the time. So that's definitely been it for me. I do like my garlic press too, so I use that a lot. Obviously, I eat a lot of garlic, but it's good for you, so oh well.
Awesome. Excuse me.
I'm gonna get a plate.
Let's see here. I guess the age-old question, do you prefer red or green?
What? Okay, you're gonna put me on the spot? Seriously? Come on. Okay, so the way I look at it is chili is like seasonal. So in the wintertime, typically, even though we freeze a bunch of green chili right before the winter, so we have it throughout the winter, and yes, we cook it up all throughout the winter. But for me, red chili's more fall and winter chili. And then in the summertime, you know, fresh green. So yeah, it's sort of seasonal for me. But and so even when I go to a restaurant and they ask red or green, I always get Christmas. So there you go.
Patricia also said Christmas.
All right, so the flavors in this black bean salad have come together. It looks really good. I'm going to kind of plate it up here a little bit.
And we have a question from the chat.
Okay.
Patricia says, what is your favorite way to prepare tacos?
Ooh, She knows this. So I like to grill my tacos, and actually, for the longest time, I would just, cook some meat and then get some hard shell tacos and have them that way. But now, my favorite way to do it, and my sister actually showed me this, it's fantastic, and you probably won't have tacos any other way, and we'll definitely do a video on this in the future. But if you spray them with a little bit of canola oil, and you put it in your cast iron pan, and you add your ingredients, so maybe you would add carne asada, some grilled onions, cheese, and then you kind of fold it over and grill both sides. It's fantastic. That's the only way to have, well, it's my preferred way to have tacos these days. So what I'm doing here is I'm kind of plating things up so you can see what it looks like. I'm going to add a couple of, I'm still kind of coughing from the red chili. I'm going to add some limes here. I'm going to hold off on the avocado just yet. I'm going to, let's see, I need a fork. And I'm going to put a couple of these grilled zucchini on here. I'm going to plate this up for you the way I would eat it.
I have another question if you're ready.
Okay, yeah.
Well, first off, his Raven Queen said, yes, Christmas is the way to go.
Okay.
Ashley Calavana says, as a dessert lover, do you have a favorite New Mexican dessert that includes a twist in it, such as chili, spice, etc.?
Ooh. I've been wanting to try flan with a little bit of red chili spice. And I would have to say flan, adding a little bit of red chili, but kind of my go-to as far as New Mexican sweets is a bizcochito. Definitely a bizcochito. Okay, I'm going to put this back over here. All right, now I have uncovered the meat. We've given it about 10 minutes to rest. Do you think it's been about 10 minutes? Okay, so I am going to come in here, and again, if you remember, the grain is going this way, so kind of lengthwise, and now we're going to come in and messing up my towel there, but I just want to, and we're going to cut against the grain here, and I want to make sure that that you can see this, and I let it rest so that all the juices redistribute in there, and hopefully you can see this, but I'm just kind of cutting it in some thin slices. And of course we have a lot of juices there. Just turn it over so you can see it. And it's about medium rare. I think it's just a little bit more than medium rare, but it's perfect. This is going to be delicious. I am so tempted to put a piece in my mouth right now, but I won't do it. I want to though. All right. Ooh, bless you. This smells delicious. So my daughter's dog is usually here with us, and she is being so sweet and quiet. It's like she knows. Oh my gosh. I wish you could smell this. Again, I can smell the red chili spice. You have to try this recipe. And sis, this is super easy. You can do this. But we'll do it when I go up there for sure.
We have a question from Melissa.
Okay.
Who would like to know if you could do a recipe on panocha, I'm sorry.
Panocha. Okay.
Yeah.
We got a request for that recently. Definitely. We'll include that in our future videos.
Great. Yeah, you guys can leave suggestions at any time. We are always looking for what you guys want to see.
And it, it helps us, to know, again, think of this as your channel. Whatever you want to see, we'll bring it to you.
And on the topic of desserts, Patricia said pastelitos, which we have a video on.
Yes, we do. We just made a pastelito recipe, video with my mom and my grandma. My grandma's been making pastelitos for years. And to be quite honest with you, we called her and asked her to support us for that video because she's the expert. And I will tell you that just by creating this channel and making weekly videos, I have learned so much, things that I had forgotten about, or little tricks that my mom or my grandma have been using all these years and that I didn't even know about. So, all right. Okay, so I'm taking forever to slice these. So here we are. We've got our meat all sliced up, and I am going to plate this up. So I put some of our corn salad, some of our grilled zucchini, some lime, and now we're gonna plate it up. So I'm gonna put a couple of tacos here, and about 2 or 3 slices on each. And then we are going to add some of our radish. You can put whatever you want in here. I'm just adding radish because it gives it that little crunch. You could do maybe a jicama slaw, or even a regular slaw. Maybe but oil based, not mayo based. So I'm putting a couple of those in there. I'm going to add a couple of slices of avocado. So just a couple. Hopefully you can see this. And there's that. Some cilantro, just to make it look pretty. This looks so good. My mouth is watering.
But then maybe you could actually come in front of the camera and hold it really close to you.
Okay. All right.
In front of the table, I'm sorry.
Come around?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to come closer so you can see this.
Let me see.
How does
A
that?
little further up.
Up?
Perfect. They can see it really well.
Yay.
Looks amazing.
Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to squeeze some of this lime on top. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to do that, and I'm going to go in for a try. So
I'm going to mute you while you're chewing, and then you can tell us how it tastes after.
okay. This is spectacular. It is so delicious. You're gonna love this recipe. I do hope you make it, and I'm really, really happy that you joined us today. Those of you who supported us in this live stream, we're really excited. And let us know if you want to see more live streams. So get grilling, try this asada recipe, and we hope you'll join us in the future. We are still, just building the channel, and if you haven't already, please subscribe and make sure you hit the bell so that you get notified every time we have a new video coming out. We've got some great content coming up. We're really excited. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Do we have another question?
A couple more things just before we go. Patricia said she would love to see flan with red chili. Ashley said the pastelito video looked delicious. His Raven Queen was looking for an empanadita recipe, but I linked it.
Oh, good. Yay.
And then Ashley just wanted to know if there was a Mexican cheese that you can garnish it with, similar to feta.
Yes, yes, cojita.
Cojita.
So if you can put cheese on there, I probably should have had some cheese on here, but you can use cojita cheese, and that's very similar to kind of feta, but you could use anything on here. You could use even just a cheddar if you wanted to. I personally don't like putting cheese on this because I think that the avocado adds some creaminess. It kind of gives you that. You could add some sour cream or Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt is what I use, but that could be another thing that you add in here. Sometimes nice. I add in some zucchini to the taco. I'll throw in the black beans in there, just whatever. There's no rules.
And a couple more things. His Raven Queen wants to see a recipe for pan de muerte. Have you heard of that?
I have not.
So we'll do some research on that. Thank you.
Pan de muerte.
And it's an overwhelming yes.
Bread of the dead.
People think we should do more lives.
Yeah, okay, cool. Well, we're really excited that you enjoyed it, that you joined us today. I hope you make this, and if you do, please tag me on Instagram. We're looking so forward to bringing you the content for this next month, and have a fantastic day. Join us next week for another video. Bye.